you tonight here on The Current. We have an island to talk about. You might remember that back in January, we had the Community Foundation of Greater Muscatine here on The Current because they had just received a historic donation of Towhead Island. This is the large island in the Mississippi just off of downtown Muscatine, and we'll show it to you here in a second. But there were questions about what to do with the island. The answers might be coming from local middle schoolers. So we have Adrienne Tow, Director of Strategic Impact with the Community Foundation, joining us now. Adrienne Tow, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's so nice to have you here with us. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, can you refresh us on these things? Just how large is this island and what's out on there right now?
Yeah, so 129 acres of undeveloped land, and it will remain that way. But it's two islands, the same land mass, but Towhead Island consists of a smaller section of land, but then a larger, and that's the section of land that our students were exploring.
Yeah, there's like nothing out there right now.
Correct.
There's not even a bridge to get onto the island from the mainland. So you have all these middle schoolers from Susan Clark. They spent 6 weeks researching the island. How did this partnership come about?
Yeah, absolutely. So when the island was donated, the Joe and Betty Rao Memorial Fund, part of the impetus behind the donation was to get youth more connected to the river and more connected to its lands. And so we had an opportunity to partner with STEM instructor Pam Jocelyn at the junior high, and she led the students through the question of what should this community do with this? And so as we connected with her and with her students, the question was, we were just gifted this island. The goal is to connect the community with it, and part of that is connecting youth to that story. And so we turned the question back to them. What would you want to do with the island?
So over 6 weeks, what were they doing? How many times did they go out there?
So they haven't been to the island yet, but we do hope to get them out there. So what they did first was they came up with their own questions. So it was everything from looking at arts or conservation or water quality or how to get people to the island or trail access. Wildlife out there, monoculture of tree systems. They got to create their own question, and then we connected them with an expert, either locally or nationally, to help them answer those questions. And then they spent 6 weeks collecting data and doing research, answering the question of, based on the question you asked, what are your recommendations for the foundation?
Okay, so I am dying to know, what are their recommendations?
Oh man, so many. So I'll start with some of the more concrete ones that we're taking immediate next steps on. One, a question around monoculture of the silver maples out there. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What do we do with that? And we were able to connect with the Iowa DNR and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. We got their forestry teams out to the island to help us answer the question of, we have a monoculture, what do we do with that? And it was pretty amazing to watch the team of experts answer the questions the kids asked. So some very immediate work is happening. There were also some questions like, can we build a tunnel underneath the river to get access to the island? And for many of us, we hear that and we laugh. Of course, we're probably not going to build a tunnel underneath the island, right? However, they're working on answering a question that's really, really important to us, and that's access. How do people who don't have boats get access to the island? And so some of the questions that they were exploring, though it seemed a little out of the box, they were absolutely targeting conversations and questions that are important to us to answer. And so we're working with their ideas and their solutions to figure that out.
You know, as someone that asks questions for a living, it really is children and students that I feel ask the best questions sometimes. You guys turn to a wealth of people to choose from.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we tell kids all the time that they're leaders of tomorrow, and that's true, they absolutely are, but they're also leaders today, exactly as they are. We don't need to wait for them to get older or to know more or to have more experiences for them to have a voice and have amazing ideas and an impact. And again, part of the donation of the island was connecting the community, and part of our work in that is not just accommodating youth, but it's including youth. And it's an honor to get to do the work in an intergenerational context, not only with the students who are asking the questions, but almost once a week I have someone call and say, hey, I went camping on the island 60 years ago when I was a kid, how can I help? And so getting to connect this intergenerational conversation about the land and the waters that we all share is pretty amazing.
So I know the results just came in recently, but where do you guys go from here? What do you have planned?
Yeah, so BioBlitz is happening on June 30th, and that's in partnership with Nahant Marsh Education Center and the Nature Conservancy. So once we have that ecological assessment data, we will have a lot more information about our next steps. We already know we're going to have some invasive species removal work to do, and we look forward to getting a lot of volunteers in on that. And then from there, it's conversations with youth organizations like Scouting America, Camp Loud Thunder, the Sea Scouts, Muscatine Community School District, and other organizations about how do we get their students plugged into this work on the island. But first, ecological assessments so we can be wise stewards of the land long into the future.
And what is the possibility that some of these ideas might become reality maybe before these students graduate?
It's very, very possible, actually. So a number of the questions, so for example, the silver maples question of is a monoculture on the island appropriate or not, and if so, what do we do about that? What we've learned is that a monoculture is appropriate in some locations, like the areas that flood the most, but it's not appropriate for the areas of higher elevation where we can improve the ecodiversity. And so we're already looking at how do we get sycamores and pecan trees and different plants that the students came up with inputted into the land. So it's happening. They asked questions and we're already on the clock of helping them put those things to life.
I remember talking to the Community Foundation back in January about, what a monumental donation this was, and to see it become such a full community project. I mean, that's got to be incredible having people call in for you guys.
Yeah, it's amazing, and what a gift to be a steward of that, and not only a steward of the land on behalf of the land and the waters that we share, but on behalf of the community and connecting people. There's so much community work that can happen in there, so getting students in the same room as people who camped on that island 60 years ago, in the same room as foresters and ecology experts, being able to have conversations, that's the work of community, and that's the work of connectedness, and that's the work of belonging, and it's such a gift that we get to do that through the lens of an island.
And I have to imagine this is what the goal was when the island was donated in the first place, was to see this project come to life in this way.
Yeah.
I am so thankful for your time today. I cannot wait to hear what comes next.
Yeah, come on out. We'd love to get you out there.
Oh, absolutely. Is my boss listening? I would love to go out there. Thank you so much for making the drive over here today.
Thanks for having us.